Good morning, Chiefs Kingdom. Are the Chiefs really frauds at 9-0? We're going to talk about it.
Before we get going, we're going to check out betus.com for sponsoring this video. We're powered by BetUS. Check out what they got going on right now. If you use the code YouTube150, you get 150% deposit bonus match on your first deposit. And then on your next two, you get 125% deposit match bonuses. Those are up to $2,000. So take advantage of all those free plays you get when you get those deposit matches. The site's easy to use. There's plenty of props on there. Go to betus.com, use the promo code YouTube150. Let them know all Chiefed Up sent you. Steve, let's talk about the Chiefs. And before we get going, good morning. This is the morning.
Wake your ass up.
Wake up. Wake up. You remember Danny Tanner? Wake up, San Francisco. We need to wake up, Kansas City.
Wake up, Kansas City.
Get up. You're undefeated. You're undefeated. You're 9-0. People are calling you frauds. The fans are calling you frauds. The media's calling you frauds. Steve, let's talk about that a little bit. Are the Chiefs frauds at 9-0?
Hell no. What are we talking about here?
What in the world are people talking about? They're saying even Mahomes is a fraud, Steve.
Yeah, he's a fraud with 3 rings on his finger. What are we talking about? This is absolutely absurd. It'd be different if the Chiefs hadn't won the last 2 freaking Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And now they're 9-0 and we're talking about them being frauds. Okay, I can understand you saying they might have had a little luck on their side. I could understand you saying they're not playing their best football, but they're just finding a way to win. I can understand you saying Mahomes isn't playing his greatest, but he's still finding a way to win. But they're just stupid. They're slapnuts. They're just like, oh, he sucks. They suck.
It doesn't make any sense because when you look at the context of the situation, the Chiefs should not be 9-0. We get it. There was a tiptoe that was almost in. There was a a PI call versus the Bengals in week 2, which by the way was a pass interference call. Like, you can't say there's not. Everybody, the refs this,
the
one
against
that.
The Falcons.
But, Steve, the Chiefs have been dealing with injury after injury after injury. Mahomes has not had his top 2 wide receivers now since Mahomes took them out in week 4, okay? I'm surprised he didn't. He probably took out Hollywood Brown, too. He's probably secretly went in there and...
He said, wait a minute, you're going to give me viable options at receiver? How dare you?
Nay, I'll not have it.
Do you think I'm not good anymore, Brett Beach? Let me show you.
So what are you thinking? Bring up some of these practice squad guys so I can put it out of the stadium on them. Steve, dude, we've had a little fun with the game last night, man. We had a little fun with the game. It was a torture to watch. It really was.
You think?
I almost would rather... things I'd rather do than watch the Chiefs play like that again. Dentist appointment that would last 22 hours.
Cut my fingernails a little too far down. Oh, it's real annoying.
Stump your little pinky toe on everything for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah. Get woke up by the dog barking every hour on the hour. Just anything.
The Chiefs just did not look good yesterday. I don't know if it was one of those and before we get talking about this a little bit, because God forbid we talk about it. Don't talk about it, Steve. You're being negative.
No.
Yet the entire game, we can call Xavier Worthy a bust. We can call Kingsley bust. We can say everybody sucks 24/7. But if we say that we didn't play a very good game, negative. You're complainers, Steve.
Everybody else could cry, but we're not allowed to cry. That's
You're not.
You
got to come on here. You got to put on a happy face.
We got to be able to show our feelings, too.
Get on there and blow that smoke up the Chiefs Kingdom's ass. That's what they want, man.
I just want to say I appreciate you guys being here for the morning stream, baby. A little good morning Chiefs Kingdom for you. How about it? Y'all hit that like button for us. Get this out to more people. That would be appreciated. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button because we're going to be doing a lot of Chiefs content forever. It doesn't stop, baby. In the season, off season, it never stops around.
We never stop. This live stream's going 24/7, 365 until something happens. If the Chiefs
are out there, if the Chiefs are still out there, if they're still existing.
If the Chiefs exist, if the Chiefs ever change their name, channel's done.
Yeah,
not doing it anymore.
I quit football if they change their name.
Don't cave.
Don't do
let's
it.
Let's get to it, Steve. What we got?
Daniel Akers with the 5 bomb, baby. Appreciate the support, Danny. Let's go. Let's freaking go. He's also been a member for 7 months now. And he says, frauds? Nah, winners just know how to win. That's right, baby.
Yeah.
The Chiefs haven't played their best football. That's what we talked about. Mahomes hasn't played his best football. They've been trying to make a patched up team work. Everybody's been hurt. Andy, redoing the entire offense, it seems like, at all at one time. And the Chiefs are still 9-0. It's crazy.
9-0. 9-0, Steve. They're saying we're 9 and overrated. I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it. Here's why I'm not buying it. Number one, if you look at what we've dealt with, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. There's been a lot of injuries, a lot of adversity that this team's had to go through.
Yeah.
Number two, Andy Reid keeps continually finding a way. And even yesterday, with all of I would say the biggest problem with the Chiefs right now is the offense not being able to convert touchdowns. But at the same time, we seen it yesterday. If Mahomes hits a few extra passes there, he leaves 21 points sitting on the board. So that narrative would be blown up because you would have blew the Broncos off the field.
Right.
So, and even the defense yesterday, everybody, defense looked bad. Defense looked bad. Look, Trent McDuffie had a bad day. I get it. Trent had a bad day. You give him a pass. A lot of people give him a pass. It is what it is. He allowed Bo Nix, the 76-year-old rookie, to put up a 141 QB rating on him. Okay, that's not a good day. Believe me, Trent McDuffie's not putting this performance on his Christmas card he's sending out in a few weeks. Like, this dude knows he had a bad day. A lot of guys knows they had a bad day. And I honestly, somebody commented last night and said the interior linemen, our big three interior, probably had one of the worst games they've ever played this year. So It was just kind of a snowball of crap yesterday, and it felt like one of those games where the Chiefs just don't show up sometimes, right? But they still found the way to win. And in years past, we'd have dropped this one. So I think that's a positive sign.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, any way the Chiefs can find a way to win right now, if they're playing bad, that's one thing. It's eventually going to click. Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback of all time, Mike.
The greatest.
The greatest.
The greatest.
Of all time. He's going to find a way to get back to normal, and that's okay. He's also going to find ways to beat you, whether there's 13 seconds on the freaking clock and their backs are against the wall, whether he has to run for 30 yards as slow as he can to get the touchdown. Whatever he has to freaking do, he's going to make sure he does it. He'll play on a bum ankle, Mike. He'll play on a bum ankle.
He's played on a bum ankle for like 2 years.
I mean, he'll play on one leg and beat your ass. He don't care. So he's going to figure it out. Andy, the greatest coach of all time.
The greatest.
The greatest.
The greatest.
Okay, so, I mean, he's going to figure it out too. And now he's got some pretty little pieces like D-Hop with that sweet hair hanging out of the back of his helmet, baby. He's out there
somewhere
with hands
Karen,
this big.
Hey,
just gigantic alien
somewhere
hands.
Chiefs Karen told him to cut that thing. And you know what he did? He defied everything she believed in.
What?
He said, "You know what?
Into one big ponytail.
I'm going to wrap it up into one giant bungee cord looking ponytail, and I'm going to go out here and I'm going to dominate." And I bet somewhere Kansas City Karen cried about it.
She did. But no, Mike, they're going to get it figured out. And that's the thing. The Chiefs notoriously have been a back half of the season team. It takes them a little while to get going. Now, granted, I know Patrick Mahomes normally comes out and tears it up in September, right? That's like a thing it's been since the get-go with him. But, I mean, for the most part, usually the last half of the season is when the defense starts to click. All the new pieces start to pick up on Spag's defense, start to get comfortable. Everything starts to come together a little bit. Also, the offense starts clicking a little bit more. I think we're in a freaking amazing spot. I mean, you can't be in a better spot than this.
We're 9-0. Could you
You
be
literally
any better?
cannot be any better.
There's not. Now, here's what I will say. A lot of people get mad that if you say, look, style points don't mean anything. The way they look, ugly wins don't mean nothing. Look, nobody's saying they don't. At the end of the year, when you get that number 1 seed, they don't look back on that unless there's some kind of a tie, right? So they don't look back on it and they don't be like, hey, dude, this team won by 21 plus and this team, won by a point every single game. That doesn't matter. Right. And nobody's saying it does. But there is something to how you look each week does determine a lot. Steve, we played the game. How you look on film each week, believe me, there's not a single player on that team, there's not a single coach on that staff that thinks that they're going to go back and watch that film and be completely content with how the Chiefs looked yesterday. They're all going in and they're using that game as to how to work. And how they looked yesterday, yes, a win's a win. But when you don't look good, guess what that does? That gives you something to focus on this week, something to work towards. That gives the other team game plans. Now you have to match their game plan with your game plan. You know what I'm saying? So every game does matter how you look. It really does. It shows where you're at during the season. And 9-0, I don't think yesterday was an accurate snapshot of where the Chiefs are right now. I don't. I believe we're a lot better team than what we've seen on the field. But at being week 10, you still come out and you put that performance on the field versus a team that I don't think is that great. Like, we know the Broncos are coming up, but they're not there yet. That team just got beat 41-10 by another AFC rival, okay? Yeah. So I think that in the moment, that wasn't what that's not how we are and how we play. But at the same time, there might be a little cause of concern. I think Andy and them's going to look to address that this week.
Absolutely. Let's get to a couple comments, then we'll get back into the show real quick. But Flip saying, good morning, Chiefs Kingdom, baby.
Flip.
Let's go. Brandon Chester says, so knowing Kingsley is that bad, do we bring in a veteran for insurance? I wouldn't say Kingsley is that bad.
Steve, that is the new Chiefs Kingdom pitchfork consistency across the board. It's not changing.
Mike, how many guys can you bring in from college football straight to the NFL and then be immaculate at left tackle?
That also played at a team, BYU.
Right.
They're not a
I
very
don't even
good
care.
conference. They did move conferences.
I'm talking entire. I don't care if they played in the SEC. How many come straight from college?
There's been a lot of big time
NFL?
SEC linemen struggle.
Exactly, man. And the thing about it is he played a game and a half, got pulled. Then they randomly put him in this game. And that's the thing about it. In week 1, they played Baltimore. He played excellent edge rushers. He was trying to stop Jason Owe.
He was on an island. Didn't get no chip blocks.
Right. And then week 2, he's going against Trey Hendrickson, who's one of the best, most underrated pass rushers in the
Actually
entire
played him
league.
pretty well up to the very end.
He started getting his ass whipped. He got tired, and he got schooled. And that's fine. That's what's supposed to happen to a rookie. But then they took him off, put in Wanye. You don't see him again until mid-game against the Broncos, and you put him in cold.
No, he actually played a few other times just here and there because
no, but like a player
Wanye left the field. But yeah, it's only 3 and 4 snaps here and there.
But then they put him in the middle of the game cold against one of the fastest edge rushers in the league in Nick Benito. Like, what are we doing? And then another thing is, I noticed a lot of the pressure yesterday came from the chip blocks. They were putting Peyton Hendershot over there, Travis Kelce over there to chip block.
I did notice that, Steve, and a lot of Chiefs Kingdoms did not pay attention to that.
They're literally chipping him right into an open aisle straight to the quarterback. I mean, Kingsley couldn't even really do much about it at that point.
There was one time that I remember one play specifically where Hendershot actually chipped the defender past Kingsley.
Don't get me wrong.
He got
beat. He got beat straight up by Nick Benito
snaps
several times. I'm not trying to say he didn't, but there's a lot of other factors go into it. Now, do I think they go try to get a veteran for insurance? They could. Is Donovan Smith the answer? Absolutely freaking not. I'd rather get Bakhtiari's old decrepit butt off the couch.
Well, I'm seeing a lot of people say Bakhtiari, and a lot of prominent Chiefs people out there that everybody likes to listen to for some odd reason. They'll go out and they'll say, hey, that's not a viable option. But Donovan Smith's a little bit of a Donovan Smith's not a viable option, guys. He's not played
Smith
football.
Was no better than Wanye last year.
Dude, this dude's not played football now in like almost a year.
I don't hate Donovan Smith, but, it's just not a thing. Andrew Wendling says, long-time listener, first-time commenter. Let's freaking go, Andrew.
Let's go, baby.
He says, love this time slot. Yeah, that's the whole point. We want to kind of to bring our beautiful show to a whole different a group of people that normally can't get on at night, So I think
we're night owls. We have some wild sense of humor that only fit the people of the night. So this morning crowd you think the morning crowd might be a little too pretentious?
No.
Let's hope not. I think if you're up this early and you're at work, you probably already hate the day. Just join in on the hate.
Join on in on it. But Mike, let's get into this bad boy. What have we got cooking for today?
Yeah, we're going to look at some people's comments from yesterday. We're going to look at some news from around the league. So how about we just get into it, man? Let's go around the league. Here we go.
How about
Hey ye! It's time for Beyond the Kingdom.
Oh, hear ye.
We're going beyond the kingdom, but first, William Usher with a $6.99 Canadian.
I
don't even know what $6.99 Canadian is. The Canadian dollar, that's probably better off than the U.S. dollar at the moment, right?
Well, considering Papal Frankenstein, yeah, sure.
76 has a lower floor than 64, maybe a higher ceiling, but right now the Chiefs need someone who's not the worst LT in the league. Also, Jay Hicks is McDuffie.
Yeah, dude.
Something.
So, Jaden Hicks at safety is what he's saying.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Jaden Hicks reminds me of Honey Badger. I think he could get to
Jaden Hicks is good.
In his career.
I think Jaden Hicks, you might see the emergence of Jaden Hicks put a lot of pressure on our boy Justin Reed to sign a more team-friendly contract, which I don't think Justin Reed will.
Yeah. Appreciate
that
the
point in his
support,
career, he
William.
won't.
Thanks for the 7 Canadian. And then Ron
appreciate
with the
you, brother.
5 bomb says the pitchfork crowd is annoying as hell. Just be happy we aren't the Cowboys or teams like the 49ers right now. The Cowboys are complete butt cheeks, bro.
Yeah, they are.
They're so bad. Appreciate the 5, Ron. But
Appreciate
let's get
you,
into
Ron.
this bad.
Let's jump right into it, Steve. We got the Niners. I don't know if you watched this one yesterday, but Deebo Samuel was frustrated when he went after teammates Jake Moody and Tabor Pepper.
Who's Tabor Pepper?
That's their long snapper. They missed 2 field goals, maybe 3.
And Deebo got mad at him.
And Deebo went over and punched the dude in the throat.
Did Deebo him?
Dude, let me tell you something.
Did he
If
take
I was
the
that long
necklace?
snapper, I'd have put my foot in his ass. I'm not having that.
You know that long snapper can beat Deebo.
There's a difference. Look, there's a difference between being frustrated, but you don't go put hands on another teammate. That's ridiculous. And then, of course,
What a loser.
the bow tie killer, their head coach, he come out and he said, look, brothers fight. We'll get over it. It's handled, blah, blah, blah. Look, I think that's bad sportsmanship by Deebo. I wouldn't want that cancer in the locker room.
No.
I don't care how it is. I'm not having that
What
one.
a slap nut. Real quick, I want to grab this real quick. Yogi's been a member for 13 months now, and he says, I'd love to see Veach call Donovan Smith in for some veteran tutoring for our young guys. Mike, what do you think about that idea? Just getting some veterans
don't
in there just to
care.
help. Don't care.
I'm just on the fence. I just think Donovan Smith's so far out of the conversation. With that being said, Brett Veach's probably on the phone with him right now to make me look like an idiot. But
He's
look,
on the way to KC.
I just don't see it. I believe if they were somewhat genuinely interested in Donovan Smith, they would have just made it happen.
Well, I mean, would you rather have a bad young left tackle or a bad old left tackle?
Right. He was so bad. Go back and look at the Super Bowl. I think people forget. Look, Kingsley got pulled in week 2 versus Trey Hendrickson, and he started the season, his first time in the NFL, with 0 left tackle veteran leadership in front of him. He starts week 1, week 2, gets pulled to end of week 2. When it was all said and done, he had the same amount, if not less. Actually, he had less. I want to say less. He had less pressures attributed to him than Donovan Smith's first 2 games in a Chiefs uniform.
Right.
And he got pulled. Donovan Smith, people are begging to have him back. What gives? The only thing difference is Patrick Mahomes got sacked 2 more times because he ran into the guy more. He's not evading sacks this year.
He is, but at times
It's not at a high rate. It's
Right.
not at the same rate it was last year. People are saying that. And look, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know. What's he doing? Is he trying to get sacked? Is he not seeing it? Is he not quick enough? I don't know, and I don't care. But the point is, if you look back through it, Donovan Smith allowed 60 pressures last year or something. It was outrageous.
He did. It wasn't good.
I don't
What's
see
next?
the point. I just don't see the point. Russell Wilson to Mike Williams connection pays immediate dividends as Steelers edge out the Commanders. Steve, people are saying that the Commanders could be the NFC team to beat. The Steelers looking decent. They just
Right.
got a win yesterday. We play them on Christmas. Do you think this Russell Wilson, for number one, do you think Russell Wilson, it was right of the head coach, Tomlin, to put Russell Wilson in over Justin Fields?
Sure, if that's what Tomlin wanted to do. It's his team.
Do you think the Steelers are a good team?
I think they're a good team with a good coach. But do I think that stupid Russell Wilson's going to do it? No.
Do the Steelers scare you in the playoffs if the Chiefs were to play them?
No. I mean, not any more than any other team. I mean, the Chiefs tend to play every team exactly the same. It doesn't matter who they are. They can be the best
That is
team in the
true.
league. They can be the worst team in the league. It's going to be a close game, and we're going to have to figure out a way to win. So it is what it is. The Steelers are a decent team. Like I said, they have a good coach. I don't have any faith in Russell Wilson. I think he's a complete slap nut. Even when he threw that pass to Mike Williams, got the touchdown, he was acting like a fool on the field. The guy's an idiot. I can't stand him. He's dumb. But no, I'm not afraid of them at all.
Mike Williams.
And Mike Williams is going to be hurt within the next 2 games.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm surprised that he actually made a play so soon. I was sort of figuring he'd be on the IR before he caught a touchdown. Moving on, last night we had this big old game here. People were calling a potential Super Bowl matchup. Jared Goff threw for a career worst 5 interceptions.
What?
But the Lions did come back and win that game versus the Texans, Steve. Does it feel like the Chiefs are on a crash course with Detroit in the Super Bowl? Is that not what it feels like? So hard right now.
No.
You're the only person in America that probably thinks that.
Look, man, everybody.
You don't think Detroit's the best team in the
everybody's
NFC?
so horny about Detroit. They are.
Who's better?
I'm not saying there's a team
The
better.
Commanders? I'm not trusting Jaden Daniels.
I'm not saying there's a team better. I'm not saying that. I don't know, man. I'll believe it when I see it. If the Lions can actually get to the Super Bowl, that's one thing.
Well, who gets there if they don't?
Mike, I don't know, but it's the
somebody from that crap ass conference has to get there. So who is it?
I don't know. I really don't know. But I mean, I guess you're right. Obviously they're the best team at this time. But I'm just saying, it's the damn Lions.
We're on a collision course with the Lions.
All right.
And there's nothing more I would like
okay.
than to shut them up in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because, look, they beat us in a meaningless preseason game this year, and everybody thought it was something great. The Chiefs lost to a preseason game to the Lions. I thought y'all were good. Yeah, we didn't play Patrick Mahomes but for 4 plays, idiot. Okay? Nobody's trying to win a preseason game. And then we lose to them by 1 score that Kadarius Toney scored more points than their own team.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of Detroit, but they are a good team. But I would love to beat the crap out of them.
So here's the question. Since he threw 5 picks in one game, does Mahomes still have more interceptions than Jared Goff?
100%. I don't even think that only might be his. He may only have 5 or 6 on the year now.
I got to look it up so you can move forward, but I'm going to be looking this one up.
I will. Well, next week we're going to play the crybaby Bills. Okay, Joshua Cryman is. Actually, we're going to Orchard Park. I was going to say he's coming to town, but Chiefs are going to Orchard Park. Josh Allen's electric fourth quarter extends the Bills' win streak as Buffalo defeats Indy. Steve, is it something? Is it an accomplishment that they had to have this exceptional fourth quarter to just beat Indianapolis?
Dude, I don't know. I don't think Indy's a terrible team. I think they made a very, very bad decision.
Didn't they start Joe Flacco?
I would draft him, or I'd play him too after drafting freaking Anthony Richardson.
Well, still though,
I would play a Papa Frankenstein at quarterback too if I made the ignorant decision of drafting Anthony
Joe
Richardson.
Flacco. It takes you to the fourth quarter to beat Joe Flacco and the Colts.
Hey, don't doubt Flacco, baby. You remember when he came in for the Browns and just tore up the entire league?
What are you doing right now?
You gotta
why
watch
are you
him.
acting as though that was an impressive win?
It's not. I don't think the Bills are impressive. I don't think the Bills are as bad as I thought they might be at the beginning of the season.
You wrote the Bills off. You said their window was closed. They wouldn't even get in the playoffs, didn't you?
I didn't say they would.
Was you one that said that?
No, but I did say they'd take a step back. I said they'd take a step back. Have they? Not really. They kind of just look like the Bills always do, don't they?
The Bills live and die the same way, don't they? It's just
What,
Josh Allen gunslinging. How many turnovers is it going to happen, and are the turnovers going to actually bite them in the ass? That's all it is.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see this coming week, man. Chiefs and Bills, like you said, at Orchard Park. So we'll see what the Bills are actually made of this week. I mean, they normally get us in the regular season, so we'll see.
I can't believe here it is almost 10:30 Eastern time on the East Coast, 10:30, 9:30 Central. And nobody has up the official game stats from yesterday's offensive lineman performance. We don't know how many pressures
Mike,
each
it was
position
so
caused.
ugly, it's taken a while to evaluate.
Yeah, we don't know anything about this. Like, I want to see what the interior 3 did yesterday. Did they look? Because we watched against the Bucks. We watched one time Villa come right up the gut on Creed Humphrey, push him out of the way, and just sack Patrick Mahomes. We watched it happen. And then it goes to the official stat card, and Creed Humphrey magically doesn't have a sack on his record. What?
They gave it to Kingsley. No, I'm just kidding. He was on the bench, and they was like,
they really did. I think they give it to like Trey Smith or somebody, and there was no way. Like, Trey Smith wasn't even in the picture.
Yeah, man, it's
like,
weird.
I love Creed, but the dude got beat on that play.
You kind of have to just watch it for yourself most of the time, right?
I guess, but at the same time, sometimes what people watch just isn't accurate.
I guess.
It's not accurate.
That's why you got to watch it for yourself.
People that watch for themselves is not accurate sometimes.
I'm not saying people. I'm saying you. You, Michael Williams.
I'm not going back and rewatching that mess. And I'm definitely not going to rewatch it 5 separate times so I can watch each individual lineman. I'm not doing it.
You know what? Screw the Bills. They suck. Onward.
I wasn't even talking about the Bills. I was talking about the Chiefs. What are you talking about? Are you high this morning? This guy's gone wild. Steve, let's look at some comments from around Chiefs Kingdom, man. I think it's hilarious. We'll get to let's get to the actual comments, then we'll get to the regular comments. But Tilly Train says, Bills' signature wins are over the Miami Dolphins. They fold when facing the Ravens and Texans. We got this. I think a lot of people are in on that with the Bills, man. Every time they play somebody worth a crap. they seem to suck. But I will guarantee you this week they're going to play a flawless football game.
Yeah. It's the Bills, dude. I really don't. It's a coin toss. Which one are you going to get? Is Josh Allen going to act like he's actually good, or is he going to be an idiot?
Dude, you're getting the best version of the Bills versus the Chiefs. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, Chiefs get the best version of everybody, right? Brandon Chester says, yeah, Vita Vea was being doubled, and he reached with his arm and just grabbed him. Do you give the linemen half a sack each?
What is
What do
it?
you think?
Vita Vea was being doubled.
What you were
and
just
he
talking
reached
about.
and just grabbed him. Do you give the lineman? It depends. That's what I'm saying. It depends on how it is. Like, that's kind of the same. That's kind of the same scenario. Like yesterday, Kingsley's going to get hit with a sack on a play that Peyton Hendershot boosted the dude by him.
Yeah.
Or will it? That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm waiting for the official. Sometimes it just takes whatever. But either way, I don't feel like the interior linemen as good as they've been this year. There's one major flaw I'm seeing with that interior three, and Pops freaks out about it.
What?
They don't open many holes for Kareem
Yeah.
Hunt up the gut.
I've noticed even like a lot of Kareem Hunt's really good runs this year has been him kind of like sidestepping through a very tiny hole. Like
Yeah,
him just
they're
making
not
his
really
way,
opening
yeah.
up a lot of holes up the middle. Like
Yeah.
it's a lot of contact, quick contact.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what that's about. I really
Once
don't.
again, I think it's just one of them things.
Is it a scheme issue? Is it just that sometimes we get a little too?
I think they'll be fine.
telegraph?
It's another one of those things. It's another one of those things. Like
I noticed the Chiefs went back to doing that yesterday on second down, just the obligatory delayed handoff on second down.
every freaking time. You can map that thing out so far in advance.
So if people on their couches at home are mapping it out, what do you think a defensive coordinator gets paid to do it does?
Right, but no, I think just like the rest of the team, I think the interior offensive line for the Chiefs is very, very good. They're really good football players. They're going to get it together. It'll be fine. I just think it's one of those things going through the lumps of the season, you know?
Yep. Well, let's get to everybody else's comments, Steve. We got some fun ones to look at. Let's do a little time of yours.
That time's yours.
Time is yours.
Time's yours, says Andy.
Let's go, baby. We're going to look at some comments on our video from yesterday and our short from yesterday.
So we did a short recap
go.
last night, Steve. And look, if you're new with us right now, we appreciate you. Like, subscribe. You're going to figure out very quickly that when we do game recaps, I'm not taking the Sports Center route where I just show you a quick condensed version. How are you doing a whole minute? You get 1 minute, and
Who
you're going to do an
cares?
entire game.
Everyone knows what happened in the game.
Everybody
Let's have some
knows
fun
we
with
watched it.
it. Right.
Like,
What we're going to do, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to figure out a way to piss off the entire
As
Denver
many
Broncos
people.
fan base, okay?
And in the process, you piss off Chiefs fans too, because if you don't understand it, very offended. Chiefs Kingdom's a very offended group. I don't know. I guess they get, they take it all the time. HD Chiefs fan, our boy Kyle, he says sometimes people just can't understand sarcasm, even when you slap them right in the face with it. Steve, it was 16-14, and
But
I
it was
said
a
it was
blowout,
a giant
son.
blowout, and nobody, not a single person, could pick up that sarcasm.
Oh, well, Kyle did.
There was just
Hey,
a few.
what the hell are you talking about? A blowout, dude? They only won by a blocked field goal.
So many Chiefs fans. I'm a Chiefs fan. I've learned that if
I like
you,
how they start it with that.
look, if you come into a comment section and you be an ass, if you preface it with "I'm a Chiefs fan" or "I've been a lifelong Chiefs fan," you can then go ahead and spout the dumbest crap. And apparently, it's fine. We got another one here from Nevis, our boy. Nevis. I don't ever know how to pronounce it. It's Nevis. Let's go, Nevis. He says, brilliant commentary. Always a fun listen. He gets it, Steve. Talon says, I love the people in the comments who don't understand satire. It makes it all worth it. That's what I think, dude. This is why we do this.
Dude, it's
Every
hilarious.
single
It
platform.
wouldn't be nearly as
every
fun.
week, triggering people.
Mike, we spend every post game trolling everyone, and people can't figure it out yet. But it's okay. Let's see what they had to say.
Bad. Best one yet. Look forward to seeing these every week. That's our boy Drayson. He understood it. Steve, we had a dumb one here. Patty Prods comes in and says, okay, this is bad. I hate, even if it's a Chiefs fan, but saying we were bailed out by the refs is crap. It was satire. Do you think, Steve,
You know what? Hey, Mike, that effectively means we're saying the Chiefs don't get bailed out by the refs.
Exactly. You know what's funny? We actually wrote, if you haven't watched the short, please go back and watch it. We actually put in a clip of a TV show of a ref blocking a basketball. And people like actually thought that was being serious.
Dude,
what is going on? Like, why has America lost its funny bone?
Why did you even have to take it that far? You literally just said the refs blocked the kick.
I think it's hilarious.
I mean, come on.
Why is it that people started taking the internet so seriously? Like, when did that happen?
I don't know.
I don't get it. Croc, 2 plays. Our boy Croc. He said, these guys are hilarious, too funny. People can't take obvious sarcasm. Kermit the Goat said the Chiefs planned it this way, guys, the whole time. They wanted to make Broncos fans cry. It was Taylor Swift's idea, and it's actually more fun for us Chiefs fans this way. That's what I say, man. It's just all the script. Dude.
I mean, from what I know, I think Taylor helped the scriptwriters this time.
She writes hits. She's writing scripts. Steve, this is what happens. Why is it that before the Chiefs won a Super Bowl, why is it feasibly that before the Chiefs won, everything was legit? But as soon as Patrick Mahomes, the greatest quarterback to ever play the game, comes into the NFL and wins, it's automatically cheating at this point.
Do you think it's because the Patriots actually did cheat?
The Patriots?
Like the last dynasty people
I guess
know
they were
of.
dirty cheaters.
The last dynasty people know of were the Patriots.
Why did they really get cheated? Why did they really get caught doing?
Well, let's start.
What'd they do? Did they deflate balls or something?
Let's start with a tuck rule. Okay. They made up a new rule to make
but
sure
they didn't do it. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like Tom Brady wrote the rule on the field.
Somebody did.
The officials interpreted
Look, I hate the Raiders,
stupid.
and I love that it happened to the Raiders, but I mean, that was garbage, and everybody knows it.
But this is
Then,
exactly why you can't let
worst of
officials
all-
interpret rules.
The worst of all, Spygate. I mean, come on, man. So there's Spygate, then there's Deflategate.
Is Spygate really something that other teams don't do, though? You just don't get caught for it.
I don't know.
You
But
can't
know
tell
what?
me there's nobody in America, not a single team.
Mike, you sound like a freaking Patriots fan. Shut up and just look. Here's
You
the
shut
reason why.
up.
Here's the
Listen to
reason
me.
why people think the Chiefs cheat is because the Chiefs are good, and the last team that was good was the Patriots who cheated.
But that is okay. I'm just saying though. But do you think that most teams don't know what the other teams are freaking running, and don't have people recording practices and games? Come on, don't be naive. Is that really cheating though?
Is it to the point that the Patriots were? They actually had Patriots players talking about Josh McDaniels being a failure head coach, and they were like, you know why he failed at being a head coach? Because he was cheating as an offensive coordinator. He was like, we thought Josh McDaniels was the smartest man of all time.
Sometimes
He would
I
tell
just-
us exactly where people were going to be on the play. And we're like, this
Sometimes
dude's a
I
genius.
just feel like the narrative from fans, like when your team loses, just gets wild. Like the only thing I could conceivably think that could be something to it is because when you start letting sports gambling get so big, I feel like Vegas has a lot of influence. But if you take that out of it, how do you get so many people in on a conspiracy? You can't have 2 people commit a crime and keep quiet, and you're going to have the entire league?
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy to think that the whole league's rigged.
Yeah,
But,
for
I
sure.
mean, come on.
Steve, here we go. Aiden,
Uh-oh.
a blowout win, guys. 13-16. You didn't even get the score right, Aiden.
Damn it, Aiden.
It was 16-14, you troll. If you don't understand at least what the score is, don't tell us that we didn't even do it right.
Look, man, he gave him more of a blowout than we did.
Yeah, it was a blowout. If you're going 3, it's a definite blowout, Aiden.
Yeah.
What are
It
you
just turned
talking
into
about?
a rout, son.
Steve, let's get to the fun ones. Bill. Here comes old Bill Kipper. I just want to preface this
You had
by
to pull it back down.
Yeah. Old Bill Kipper out here.
Billy.
He's probably one of these lifelongs. Oh, here it is. I'm a lifelong Chiefs fan. So once you say that, you are now free to spew as much BS as you can pull out.
No, I mean,
Because
you've
you're
been a Chiefs fan.
lifelong. You're a lifelong guy. Here we go. This was far from a blowout win. Oh, here we go, Bill. Mahomes was under way more pressure than Knicks the entire game. What?
Just read it.
Bill, do you not think we have eyeballs?
Just read it, Mike.
Dude,
I can't
what's
with
wrong
Bill
with
right
Bill?
now.
He said, I started watching you guys because the guy with the red beard sucks. Hold up. Hold up, Bill. Now Cole is catching a stray?
Yeah, man. Collateral damage, brother.
You're going to come in here and catch a stray for Cole. Look, you can say his coffee, you don't like it. You can say that he sold you a mattress you wasn't happy with. But you will not just say Red Beard Man sucks.
Don't talk about him like that. It's our friend.
However, you guys are clueless.
Jeez.
Oh, Bill. Bill. Last time I watched one of your videos. Bill, nobody asked you to watch the video, Bill.
What's
And if
Bill
you don't
gonna watch
understand
now?
sarcasm, get a job, Bill.
What's Bill going to do?
You know what, Bill? What are you going to do about it, Bill? We didn't ask you to watch this stupid video to begin with. And don't take shots at Cole. There was no reason you had to bring in the Red Beard Man. Okay? Bill, go away. We look forward to watching your show, Bill. And what could Bill's show be called?
It could be called Go Back, Find That Comment, and...
that shit.
Yeah, baby.
Delete it. That's what's happening, Bill. Let's move on to something more positive. 1T Jefferson's Place. That's a name. He said my neighbors heard me yelling. Okay? He was yelling over this bad boy. Steve, I think everybody, when this happened, we were all like just amazed. Look at Leo.
Leo rules.
He's just laid out like Superman.
His name is John Cena.
What is the lineman that he just completely trounced over is now officially bench pressing him? It
Dude,
looks
Leo literally teabagged that poor man after blocking the field goal to win the game.
It looks like they're getting ready to do the final scene of Dirty Dancing. Like, look at Swayze, old Patrick down here just holding up baby. Don't put Leo in a corner. Don't put baby in a corner. Don't put Leo in a corner, Steve.
Them hands up, baby.
2 cheap beers with a 2 bomb said just win, baby.
Let's go.
Look,
I don't like the Raiders saying,
bring
but
the Raiders
appreciate
at
the
us.
2-bomb.
Don't do that, but appreciate
Hey,
it too.
but real quick, just on that story about the neighbors hearing them yelling.
Yeah.
So true story. Mike Pops came over to the house to watch the game. One of our girls has been sick and had to take a medication, and she had an allergic reaction to it. So she's like starting to itch and like breaking out and everything. So
she wasn't allergic to medicine. She was watching the game. She was allergic to the way the Chiefs were playing.
she was allergic to that BS. No, but the lady went to go to the store. We had no Benadryl in the house or anything for her, so she was going to get it, and it was just happened to be right at the end of the game, right? So she goes out the door into the car, and we go nuts because Leo blocks the kick. And I noticed the car is still sitting out there, so I walked outside. She's like, "What happened?" And I was telling her, she's like, "I could hear you all from inside the car." So it's like, I get it. I think your neighbor actually heard you.
Imagine not giving enough F's in life that the Chiefs are playing and we're at the final snap and you're just like, I'm just going to walk out the door.
You're going to risk the life of your child over it?
I mean, they can survive a red welt for a few minutes to watch that Leo block. That's what I'm saying. Here we go. No scope. I was at the game. Complete pandemonium at the end. Go Chiefs.
I bet it was nuts, bro.
Dude, it had to be nuts in Arrowhead. I would say Arrowhead is electric in the first place. But, dude, doesn't every fan? I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of people, like, going to the exits. I wonder if that was a thing. Surely
I mean,
not.
I think
Like,
most
don't
people
feel
thought
like-
that game was over, effectively. I even saw where McCole Hardman was saying D-Hop was like, well, this game's over. And he was like, well, I've seen crazier stuff before. And then this kick got blocked.
Dude, it was wild.
Yeah.
Red Maury, can we please win by 21 this season stress-free? That's not happening. I don't.
wish.
Steve, are we going to see a 21-point win this year? We've only got a few games left, essentially. When you get to the playoffs,
Look,
you're not getting
bro,
21 plus.
If they don't do it against the Bills, no, I'm just kidding. If they don't do it against the Panthers and they don't do it against the Raiders or the Browns, then it's out. It's out. We got 3 chances here.
So you think
I would love to see a 21-point comfortable win over any of the other
Panthers,
teams.
Raiders, Browns, that's your shots.
Those are your blowout chances right there, right?
Maybe a Christmas blowout versus the Steelers. Would that not be fun? I think it's hard to do because of the way Tomlin plays. But crazier
don't
things have
think
happened. Christian Gamar. Also, the interior 3 of the offensive line and McDuffie collectively had their worst game in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
That was the fella I was referring to earlier. I was talking about the offensive line. The interior had a bad game. Yeah, I think McDuffie, I just think everybody. Do you think it was too early? I think they're like, man, what is this noon game? We've never had this before.
Right, man.
So like, what's going on?
We're not accustomed to that, okay? And the Chiefs,
Nobody wants a
the
noon
players
game.
are not accustomed to it. They're always sleeping through noon games. Like,
Steve, I
literally.
saved the best one for last for you.
What we got? What do we got?
Best one for last for you. This is Bill's brother here, Rick. Hey, Bill and Rick. I can't wait to watch the Bill and Rick show. It's gonna be electric.
It's gonna be good.
Rick says you guys are complainers, like the demos on the election results.
What?
Keep your day jobs. You know what, Bill? This is our day job, and that's not even Bill. You know what, Rick? Bill done pissed me off. Now Rick's here. Rick, this is the day job. Okay?
Yeah. What time is it right now? Is it daytime?
It's daytime, Rick. You know, and people are watching us, Rick. They're not watching you, Rick.
Just spit Diet Mountain Dew all over the room.
Nobody cares what you think, Rick, by the way. Don't be an idiot. And look, nobody complained. Steve, if anybody in the world, I want to ask an exercise. There's like almost 500 in here. What's the exercise that I want to give you? Here it is. If I told you that what you seen yesterday, the Chiefs, front to back, the performance they give you, if they take that and they go every game for the rest of the season with that performance, are we three-peating?
Hell to the no.
Do we even probably win another game on the schedule if you play like
Man,
that?
look.
It would be very close.
You can be a Chiefs fan. You can love the Chiefs.
Multiple things can be true.
But good God Almighty, there's no way you watched that game yesterday and thought that.
And you come out being like, my God, dude, we looked freaking awesome.
This team's firing on all cylinders, baby.
This team was crushing it.
Watch out, NFL.
This guy actually, look, he missed he must have missed the game recap because what he didn't know is we said it was a blowout. Nobody was complaining.
We weren't complaining.
What a fool.
It's a hell of a game.
What a fool. Where did these people come from? Do people come to YouTube and just like, they come out from under their rock, from their cave of just, they've had a whole day of getting the smoke blown up that ass. And they're like,
Why do they live in a cave and under a rock? Like, what are they
they're
hiding from?
it's a mountain. A cave. If you live in a cave, you are feasibly living under a rock. Is that correct?
I guess so. Hey, wanted to say I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks so much for that. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. It helps us out tremendously. And also, we're going to take a quick break. And while we're doing that, why don't you watch this about the sponsor of today's live stream.
Today's show is sponsored by Manta Sleep Mask. You got to check this out. This sleep mask is going to change your life. We all know how important sleep is for recovery. And if you want to be at your best physically and mentally, you got to get some sleep. And not just any sleep, you got to get some high quality sleep. We weren't big believers in sleep masks. I thought they were going to be too big, too hot, too bulky. But Manta Sleep Mask changed that perception for me. These sleep masks are so comfortable. You can change the cup around your eye and find a custom fit. That way the mask finds your comfortability. With these pillows around your eyes, you feel zero pressure. And with the 100% blackout technology, you can go to sleep anytime, day or night, no matter how erratic your sleep schedule is. These masks are designed for side sleepers as well, and that is very important. There are so many options that Manta Sleep offers too. One of our favorites is the Manta Sleep Mask Sound. It comes equipped with a razor-thin Bluetooth headphone, again, optimized for side sleepers. The headphones are super easy to adjust, and it just becomes a heavenly submersive experience that blocks out the world and allows you to get some high-quality sleep. You can go with the Sound Mask, the Pro Mask, the Silk Mask, or just the Sleep Mask. You should go check out their website by clicking the link we have provided for you in the description below and read up on which option sounds best for you. But regardless of which mask you choose, use our code ACU10 at checkout and receive a 10% discount that we have secured through Manta Sleep for you, Chiefs Kingdom. We understand how tiring it is defending the back-to-back world champions. We also know there are countless non-football knowers out there talking trash to the Chiefs 24/7, and with these, you can block them out and get rested up for the coveted three-peat. Again, go to the description, find the link, find the mask you want to try out, use code ACU10, and get yourself some of the best sleep you've ever had in preparation of this long football season. Where am I? This is true blackout technology, people.
Let's go, baby.
Ooh.
Go check that bad boy out over there and get you some good sleep. And I just want to shout out the mods right now because we forget about them sometimes. And they're doing the Lord's work for us, and they're freaking awesome at it. So shout out to you mods. We appreciate you guys.
Steve Valerie in the chat. She can't get over Bill right now. She said that Bill needs that official suck it response.
He does.
I mean,
Line that
I
up for Bill.
guess if you ask, you receive.
Suck it! Suck it!
3, 2, 1.
What's the chances that Bill actually watched today's?
He's not watching it. He said he's never watching again.
But I feel like that's a lie. He's here right now. He just won't get in the chat. He's afraid.
Bill's got a burner account.
Don't be afraid, Bill. We still love you. It's okay if you're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be a slap nut every once in a while, it's okay. Okay, man. Well, let's give some final thoughts on the game yesterday. Just like Monday, it's out of our system. We get the whole Monday morning quarterback thing out of your system.
Yeah, right.
And then we'll go into
we had time to let it marinate.
To Bills week.
Yeah, we had time to let it marinate. I think just looking back at the game, overall, you knew it was going to be a tough game. It's a divisional game with the Broncos. Look, we've beat the Broncos every game except for one in the last 15 years, it seems like. In that game, took Mahomes having a flu. But at the same time, they play us tough all the time. It's not like we just blow them out. So
I always thought we struggled to beat them in the regular season.
It's never like a big win. But that's the thing. It's a divisional game. It's always going to be tough. And then, like
it's
was
a conference
mentioned,
game.
Right, whatever. You know what I meant.
I know, but there's going to be somebody that's going to say that to you, so I'll just do it.
Is it not a division?
It's a conference.
I guess AFC is a division, right?
The AFC West is a division. It is a conference. What is wrong with you today?
No, what's wrong with you? I don't understand what you're even trying to say.
The AFC is a conference. The AFC West is a division within the conference. What are you talking about? Have you gone mental?
Why were you correcting me then? I said it was a divisional matchup.
It's not a divisional matchup. Are you talking about the Bills?
The mother effing Broncos, bro. The game we're talking about.
Okay, look, there's so
what
much
in
Bill
God's
talk.
name are you coming at
I
me
thought you
for?
were talking about the Bills.
Why would I be talking about the Bills when you asked me about the Broncos?
Because
Bro,
everybody's talking about the Bills in the chat, and I just lost.
Somebody slap Mike in the face.
This time, I apologize.
God bless. You made me feel like I was crazy.
You were scaring me though, because I thought you thought the Bills were in the.
You made me feel like I was crazy.
We were making each other nuts, dude.
No, don't even bring me into
I blame
this.
the chat for making me nuts.
Don't blame them. They didn't do it either.
I blame you.
Anyway, either way, it was a divisional matchup, Michael, so it was a tough game.
Yeah.
It always is. And like we talked about earlier, our interior offensive line, our quarterback one, they all had probably the worst games of their entire career. Patrick Mahomes still wasn't looking like Patrick Mahomes. He's having trouble. He missed wide open touchdown passes. I mean, everything fell into place for the Donkeys to upset us in Arrowhead. And guess what? It still didn't freaking happen because Leo got in the huddle and he said, "Watch this." He said, "Watch this."
He said, "Hold my beer."
Hold my beer. This game is done.
Steve, look, now we know the ref tipped him off. He's like, "Look, I heard that they're going to go in this snap count. If you pull at this angle, I won't call a holding." The ref set that one up. We all know it. It's okay. We can admit it.
Yeah, but no, I mean, overall, you asked for my final thoughts on the game. The final thoughts on the game is same as the rest of the season. The Chiefs are not playing their best football at all. They're still trying to get there. They've got to start executing better. They're obviously the more talented and better team every time they line up against somebody. It's just a matter of execution. I thought the game plans yesterday from the coaches were good. I just thought it was poor execution from the players. And could it be because it's a noon game and they were hungover? Potentially. Because that seems to be a trend with this team.
Maybe they were fired up on a Saturday night. You know, they were out having a good time. Who knows?
But the fact of the matter is that we are 9-0. You can't be in any better spot. It's impossible to be in a better spot than you're in right now. We're 96% chance to win the AFC West, in the driver's seat to the 1 seed in the AFC. We're in a beautiful spot, and this team is not where they need to be. So that's just telling me that if they can get their shit together, Michael, it's going to get scary for the NFL.
No.
That's all it's telling me.
You're
That's
right, dude. If I had final thoughts on the game, here's what I'm going to say. My final thought is I'm so glad it's over, and I don't have to watch it again. You know, and if we pull that again this week, look, I'm just going to be straight up. You pull a game like that again this week against the Bills, they're going to blow you off the field. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, you know the Bills are coming at you even harder than the Broncos, which is crazy to say.
100%.
Which is crazy to say because normally
they build their team every year to just beat the Chiefs.
that's literally their goal, man. It's been for like the last 6 years. They just cannot do it when they need to.
I think it's safe to say, look, if McDuffie has a repeat performance, if our offensive line has a repeat performance, if Mahomes plays like he did yesterday, we're getting beat by the Bills. So I hope you got it out of your system.
Yeah,
Andy's going to coach it out. I think the Chiefs are going to look a lot better. This isn't a noon game. I think they pushed it back. What is it, a 4 o'clock? And I think they're going to show it to all of America. I kind of thought they would flex it.
It's 3:25.
I kind of thought they would flex it out, though, but I guess they're not going to. Isn't it odd that the Bills-Chiefs Week 11 matchup was just put at a 4 o'clock game, but yet they had a Panthers-Giants Week 10 matchup overseas? Like, what? The NFL just was like, hey, man, that Giants-Panthers game is going to be a fire matchup.
Let's take this overseas,
Chiefs game,
baby.
bro. Let's just put that on at 4 o'clock. Just one of those afternoon stinks.
I'm okay with it. I don't want to do all
I mean, whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, I don't want to go over there
the Chiefs are already playing on every day of the week except for Tuesday this year.
They should have played them on a Wednesday. Do we got a Wednesday game?
Yeah, we do. We really do.
Is that Christmas? When's
Yeah.
Christmas?
Pretty sure it's Wednesday. What other game would be
Christmas is
Wednesday? What other game would be Wednesday? It's not the Black Friday game, I can tell you that.
Black Friday's not on a Wednesday? What?
It's definitely the Christmas.
I'm surprised
game.
we didn't play the Thursday Thanksgiving game and then turn around and play the Black Friday game and then go ahead and play on Sunday and Monday.
And then
Just
the,
4
and then
games
the
in 5 days.
annual Tuesday night game.
They like to come at the Chiefs, dude. It's hilarious.
Yeah, but
Isn't
moving on to the what? Go ahead.
I was going to say, isn't it funny in the year that it seemed like they were coming at us with the schedule? And plus, we had a Super Bowl schedule. Like, you still get the tough schedule. So, this is the one with all the injuries. The Chiefs are 9-0. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been a nuts season, dude.
Yeah, it's been
chaos.
crazy. It has been chaos, but that's the beautiful part about it. The fact that everything's been against you. The football gods came down hard on you this year. They're like, look, it's a three-peat. This has never been done. This is why. Everybody snapped their fingers and everybody's getting hurt. Mahomes is playing like he's half asleep half the time. Travis Kelce showed up to the season 4 games in. Like, I mean, there's so many things that went wrong, and the Chiefs are still sitting at 9-0, just up there at the top of the mountain with the middle fingers up, Stone Cold style. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Wild to think about.
This team's only going to get better, and it's going to be exciting to watch for the rest of the year as this team starts to meld together because, like I said, the defense normally clicks in the back half of the season.
You think we get a fun surprise this week? Do you think
Like
Pacheco can get back this week? Or do you
I
think it's
don't
just
know.
a little too soon?
Maybe a little too soon. I don't see the point of rushing him. I mean, Kareem Hunt's killing it, but Kareem Hunt's also taking
He
a workload.
had a little injury yesterday.
Dude, he's getting beat to death. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
I mean, they are really working him hard.
Excited to see what the Chiefs. I think Andy will address the media in just a little while. Maybe he'll usually do it. Maybe he does like one of those like online press conferences. He does that sometimes on Mondays. We won't see everybody talk till tomorrow, but yeah, man, I don't know. It's wild. Like, this has been a wild season. I would love to get back Pop, but we are going to get back Juju unless something happens this week. I think Juju's
he's
slated
on pace
to return.
to be back for the Bills game. I think that's the plan.
So that's a good one. I mean,
But of course, if he sneezes too hard, it could be another week or two.
man, I say Juju's old. Juju's not old. What is he? 27?
He's like 26, bro. He's not old at all.
Isn't
It's
that wild?
hilarious. I feel
you
like he's
think
been
of
in the league
Juju
for
and you think
15
he's like
years.
ancient.
Yeah, dude, he must have started at 12.
He did. I think he was in the NFL like 18.
12. I think Tomlin had him over there getting some child labor in with the Steelers.
He
bro.
did. He was like, this dude just turned 14. Get him on the field. Like, what is happening?
Okay, he's 27. Brandon says he's 27.
I was thinking.
But yeah, man, the team's only going to get more healthy
ancient.
too, because we're talking about getting Pop back. We're talking about getting Charles Omenihu back. We're talking about maybe, of course, Juju coming back, and then maybe Marquise Brown were to be able to squeeze into like the very end of this year before the playoff run. I mean, this team, it gets much deeper. I mean, that's all there is to it. And then what's his name? Jalen Watson. He actually said on Twitter the other day who said he was out for the season.
Yeah, I think he was just blowing smoke, right?
Maybe.
I mean, it is possible. We'll see.
We'll have to see. Maybe he'll get out there in a boot.
The Chiefs do. I mean,
just pump that little boot up as tight as he can get it and get out there.
If you make a deep run, there's always a chance of coming back. But I think that starts getting into the conversation of even like with Hollywood. Like at some point, like when you come back, is it almost getting so late in the season that if you built some chemistry, do you want to throw that in? Are you game ready? I mean, that's something for the coaches to decide.
Yeah. You know, something I wanted to bring back up that we were talking about earlier, it just hasn't sit right with me. Everybody loving the freaking Lions and talking about how they're the greatest team in football.
The Lions really irk you, don't it?
It does, because I just feel like, okay, I'm sorry. Why do you get so much praise for beating the Titans 52-14? Like, literally, you beat a JV squad, like 52-14. You took advantage of a bad team. Okay, awesome. That's great. That's very Dallas Cowboys of you. Love it. But then you play an actual football team in the Texans, and you almost lost the game. You threw 5 interceptions. Did they look that freaking amazing last night? They found a way to win. I'll give them that. But, I mean, what are we talking about here? Why is everyone acting like they're the most dominant team in football just because they beat the hell out of the Titans? I mean, come on, bro. I'm just not there with them. I think they're good, and I think they could get to the Super Bowl. But, I mean, when's the last time that the Lions have proved to you that they will run through the playoffs? Dan Campbell will find a way to screw a game up. Look at the playoffs last year. I don't know, man.
You're
the Chiefs
on it right now.
I am, because the Chiefs are the obvious best team in football right now, and all you hear is Lions, Lions, Lions.
Who are the Lions? Like, who's going to beat the Lions in the NFC right now? I just don't see it. I don't see
Christian McCaffrey's back. Maybe they get their act back together over in San Francisco.
I just don't feel like the NFC is a strong conference.
It's never been. It hasn't been in 10 years.
Because they won't invest in quarterbacks over there.
They invest in sucking ass is what they do.
It doesn't, but look, you kind of, I mean, I know what you're saying. I get it. But you're kind of saying, like, even yesterday, they found a way to win, blah, blah, blah. But they found a way to beat the Texans.
That's great.
In prime time.
That's what I'm saying. They played a real
overcoming their
football
quarterback
team.
throwing 5 picks. That's still a little bit more impressive than what the Chiefs were able to pull off.
Sure.
Rookie Knicks
Sure.
in Arrowhead.
Who cares? There's nothing impressive about throwing 5 picks and barely winning the game. They're in the same position.
I'm just saying. Their fans have just a reason to be excited as our fans. You're just crapping all over right now.
I'm not talking about Lions fans. I'm not talking about Chiefs fans. I'm talking about, in general, just football fans in general. The general consensus is that the Lions are the best team in football. Tell me why. Give me one reason why they're better than the Chiefs. Because they beat the Titans 52-14? Is that what we're talking about?
I think, honestly, the Chiefs are a product of...
I think the Eagles could beat them right now.
The Chiefs are a product of, again, with a lot of the media, and even sometimes with a lot of fans, not necessarily our fans, but a lot of fans, like NFL fans. The Chiefs keep everything so close, and they will not put the hammer down and beat teams, even when we're depleted. I get it. But we're depleted right now, and people will still come out. There's still Patrick Mahomes haters out there that think that the Chiefs are just loaded, and Patrick Mahomes just has all these weapons. And it's like, what are you talking about? Yeah. But it's because we don't beat teams handily. And it always turns out to be a close game, and they'll find a way to make it the official part of it. They'll find a way to find one call that makes it a part of it. The Chiefs, again, we're going back to it. Style points don't matter, but in the overall perception of things, style points do matter.
Well, in the overall perception of things,
I don't think it matters in general once you're putting the ring on at the end of the year, but I'm just saying to the media and stuff,
yeah,
it does matter. That's why the Chiefs, they don't think the Chiefs
like
are
Brandon
dominant.
was saying, it's probably because they're coming off back-to-back Super Bowl victories and they're undefeated right now. That's probably why they think they're the best team in football. Oh, wait. That's not the freaking Lions now, is it? I mean, I don't understand where they get off trying to act like the Lions are the best team in football. They're just not.
I don't agree. I'm just saying, like, it's because that they win.
Man, I think the Lions would have a lot of trouble. If they were in the AFC and not the NFC.
I think that if the Lions were in the AFC West,
go?
they wouldn't have as many wins right now.
No, I mean, would you say Baltimore's a better team than them?
I think it'd be a close game.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Do you think Buffalo would give them a close game? Well, and that's another thing.
I would pick the Lions all day over the Bills. Put it that way.
Yeah, but would it surprise you if Buffalo beat them?
I don't think it surprises me if anybody beats anybody in a certain degree. Like, you just seen the Broncos come in and play the game of their life versus the back-to-back Super Bowl champs.
Yeah.
So I think parity goes a long way in the NFL. I think a lot of people forget that. Professionals are professionals.
Yeah. Yeah, but, another thing is they lost, like, their biggest piece on defense. Aiden Hutchinson's done, son. They had to go out. They had to go get Zadarius Smith.
Zadarius Smith.
That's like me.
That's a downgrade. It's a downgrade.
It's like, man, I crashed my Mercedes. Let me go get a Kia. I'm gonna go get my Kia Sportage or whatever. My G-Wagon's out of commish. Let me get the Kia Sportage. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not dogging the Lions. I think they're a good team, but I just think that everybody needs to pump the brakes a little bit there. Show some respect to the real best team in football. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I get it. I understand where you're coming from. But if you also, they are, what are they now? 8-1? Are they 8-1 or are they?
I don't even care. I don't care what they are. Let me look it up.
Yeah, their only loss has been to the Bucks, 20-16 in week 2.
Mm-hmm. And who beat the Bucks?
Yeah, they're 8-1.
Playing a bad game. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. They can be the second best team in the league, and I won't get mad at you. But you got to stop this. They're the best team in the league crap. I'm not having it, Mike.
They did.
On a Monday morning, I'm not having it.
They beat Tennessee 52-14. I understand that one. They beat the Packers by 10. They beat the Vikings, who at the time I think was undefeated. They beat the Cowboys 47-9. They beat the Seahawks 42-29. They have now effectively, Steve, hung 42-47, 31-52 on teams, and the Chiefs can't even sputter out 26 points half the time. I think that there's just a lot of reasons why the media is saying that. Are they right or wrong? I don't know, but I'm not going to discredit Detroit. Like, you're just flat out crapping on them.
I literally said I'm not saying they're a bad team, and they can be the second best team in football. That's fine, but people got to stop talking like they're the class of the NFL because they're freaking not. I think it's very clear the Chiefs are.
I think it's very clear that the Chiefs and the Lions are the two best teams in football, and they're not in the same. They're not in the same conference, so I think they're on a collision course. I think this right now you cannot say they're not the heavy favorites going into the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm with
Why do
you.
you say yeah, sure? What?
I don't know who else in the NFC. Like I said,
yeah, who in the NFC beats them? Because I think the Bucks 2016 week 2 that just feels like a fluke kind of game.
I don't know, man. Baker's out there dealing. Gotta watch him.
Yeah, he was early in the year. That's what I'm trying to say. But now they've kind of cooled off because they've hit some injuries and things. But see what happens when other teams hit injuries? They die down. When the Chiefs, we've started with injuries and we're 9-0. So it's just one of those things, man. We'll see.
Yeah. What about in the AFC? Like, who's the real contenders, you think? Because most people thought before the season started that the Texans would be the team that gives the run to the Chiefs this year in the AFC. Now they have a little bit different perspective, I guess. The Texans haven't been very dominant this year. They have also lost Stephon Diggs for the season, which was their big acquisition in the offseason. So, I mean, are they still a viable candidate to get in the AFC and make some noise in the playoffs? And other than that, is it just the usual suspects? Is it the Ravens and the Bills?
Right. I don't think the Texans have looked all that good this year. I think C.J. Stroud definitely took a step back like we said he would. I don't think he's been as dominant this season. They had a 2-point win versus the Colts in week 1. Not very impressive. A 6-point win versus the Bears. Not very impressive. They got blew out by the Minnesota Vikings. Like, come on. Sam Darnold in Minnesota is going to beat you 34-7.
Darnold's MVP, brother.
They beat the Jags by 4 points. They beat the Bills by 3 points. I mean, they beat the Patriots by 20. That's a nice blowout win. They lost to the Pack. They then turn around and beat the Colts again by 3. Then they lose to the Jets, and they lose to the Lions by that field goal there at the end. So they've got some bad losses. The Jets is a bad loss. I think the Vikings 34-7 constitutes as a bad loss. The Packers 24-22, not that big of a deal. And the Lions by field goal at the end, not that bad. So I'd say they got 2 bad losses, but even their wins haven't been that impressive. I don't think they're no better off than we are. You know what I mean? Like, so if you're going to look at the Chiefs and say they've struggled, I think obviously the Texans have struggled too. So I would still say Texans.
What What the Steelers? You think they're?
Yeah, that's a team I was getting ready to go look at. I want to see what the Steelers will actually.
I just can't even with one of the best coaches in football. I just can't put anything into Russell Wilson.
The Steelers got an 8-point win versus the Falcons week 1. Okay, that's a decent win. I think the Falcons are a decent football team. They're decent. They beat the Broncos 13-6 at Denver. So that was a little more impressive than we did, even though that was a crap show game, it looks like.
Right.
They beat the Chargers 20-10. They lost to the Colts. They lost to the Cowboys. They blew the Raiders out 32-13, and we struggled with them. That's what I'm saying. The Chiefs struggling with every single team.
That's another thing.
Is
like
why
I said,
teams don't fear the Chiefs.
And divisional games are not
weird.
the same as
It's
this.
not. I get it, but the media is not going to let you live it down. They blew out the Jets. They beat the Giants decently. They should have beat the Giants by more than that. And then they beat the Commanders by 1. I don't know. I think there's a lot of serviceable teams. I think, are they close to the Chiefs? No. I think I would put the Chiefs at, like, say, on a scale from 1 to 10, the Chiefs are playing like a level 6 football right now. But these teams are not even to the Chiefs' 9-0 record, and they're probably playing level 8 and 9 football for them.
Right.
So they don't even have much room to improve, whereas the Chiefs got a crap ton to improve.
Right.
So I think once the Chiefs get fired on all cylinders, I think you should beat these teams handily. But again, it comes back to no matter how dominant we are, we won't beat teams handily. And it always keeps everything close, and it keeps it in the officials' pockets. You know, a lot of people think that we get all the calls. Not necessarily true, man. There's plenty of times there's been close games.
It'll only take one bad one to bite you.
Yeah, and officials will walk other teams down the field. We seen it just a few weeks ago in the second half. Penalty. I want to say it was versus the Raiders. They called like 8 penalties in a row on us in the third quarter.
It's like an entire drive of penalties. I'm just getting tired of watching it.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, it always happens.
Well, here's the thing about it. You can kind of project what's going to happen, talk about who are the good teams in the NFL, what the playoffs might look like. But the fact of the matter is, the way Andy Reid does things is the perfect way to go about it. You play 1 week at a time. You're worried about that opponent, and that's it. You know, don't even look forward. Why even look forward? Because you got to get there first, right?
Right. Ruben says, Mike, why are the Bills going to beat us? I don't know that they are.
Yeah, I think he misconstrued what you said earlier. You were saying if the Chiefs played the way they played against the Broncos last week, that the Bills would beat them.
If the Chiefs play versus the Bills with the piss poor effort we put out yesterday, they will beat us.
Yeah, I think that's what he thought. But like overall, if the Chiefs are playing a good
Kiss
game,
your undefeated season goodbye if you come out with that performance again.
Yeah, that doesn't.
Am I wrong in saying that?
No, but
I think honestly though, you think the Chiefs, if we come out and play exactly like we did, interior line plays another horrible game, we're giving up Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes isn't connecting. He's overthrowing people. The defense is kind of struggling a little bit at times. I know the defense didn't give up any points. I want to say like the whole second half maybe. But I'm just saying, like, if we have that performance versus the Bills at Orchard Park, you think we're getting a win?
Probably not. Not the way the Bills
I think it would be like a 95% chance the Bills rout you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that the Chiefs will normally at least play to the level of their opponent. So
right.
I don't think it matters.
And
who
I'm not saying the Bills are going to do that. I'm just saying if the Chiefs want to keep putting that on the field.
Wake up, baby. Flip with the 5 bombs this morning, y'all. Who do you both see most likely improving in the second half of the season? Worthy catching or still not fumbling another ball? I think both of those are going to be. We've already seen an improvement with Carson Steele. To be honest, neither of those fumbles were really his fault. I think he was protecting the ball fine. It was just good defensive plays. It's just bad luck for a rookie, right? I would like to see them start giving Steele more carries. You see it sparingly throughout the games, but you are beating the living hell out of Kareem Hunt right now.
Mahomes actually got on his ass yesterday for missing a
Yeah, well, that's another thing. Another thing that will be attributed to Kingsley Suamataia, when really it was Carson Steele who went the wrong way and didn't pick up the block. It's just one of those things, man. People got to look at the big picture sometimes. But no, I think he's fine. I'd like to see him get more of a workload, and of course, when Pacheco gets back, that might go back down a little bit. But like Kareem Hunt's been killer for us so far, and we've talked about how he fits in this offense so well and looks so good that he might even be RB1 when Pacheco gets back. And I agree with that, but we can't beat him to death, and that's kind of what's happening right now. Like Kareem Hunt is taking a big workload, And Kareem Hunt's not, 24 years old no more. So I think I'd be careful with that. I wouldn't mind seeing still get more carries. And then as far as Worthy catching, I don't think Worthy has a problem catching the ball. I think he's got some things to learn, field awareness and things like that. But I think that Worthy's going to be an invaluable piece later in the season and maybe even the playoffs, because the more that Mahomes builds up chemistry with D-Hop, the more D-Hop fits into this offense, the more that Andy Reid utilizes D-Hop. You have teams trying to figure out, like, do we double team DeAndre Hopkins? Do we double team Travis Kelce? Do we double team both? And sometimes it's easy when you have two future Hall of Famers on your team like that to forget about the guy that can run a 4-2 over here and absolutely blaze the top off your defense. He did it yesterday. By all means, that should have been a touchdown, but Mahomes missed the throw by 20 yards. Instead of putting it in the end zone, he threw it out of bounds and tried to hit a cameraman in the head. So, I mean, I think that Xavier Worthy's going to be fine.
Dude, Worthy's he's targeted Worthy 40 times this year. I would love to see the accuracy on it. Hold up, I can find it. When Mahomes is targeting Worthy, he's only throwing at a passer rating of a 73. That's how bad the chemistry's been so far.
And it'll come.
And I don't know who it's on. Okay, you can't really say Mahomes.
You also
people
have to
bite your
remember
head
that
off.
a lot of the throws to Worthy are deep balls too.
Exactly. But he's had 40 targets. He's only dropped 2 balls. Like, I don't know why, like, yeah, he probably shouldn't have dropped that one yesterday towards the sideline, but does dropping 1 or 2 balls now just make you, like...
If that's the case, Travis Kelce, everybody would hate Kelce.
Right. Kelsey's already dropped, like, 6 balls this year, hasn't he?
Right. Appreciate the 5 flip, but I think they're both going to be just fine. Carson still may not be as much of a game changer as people thought that he could be after seeing what he did in the preseason, but he's still a valuable piece, man. It's good to have him, especially on like 3rd and shorts, 4th and shorts.
Wow. Kelce, as much as it feels like he's dropped, his official drop number this year's only been 2.
I think they're in the same game. I could be wrong. No?
They're saying he dropped 1 in week 1 versus Baltimore and then 1 drop versus the Raiders.
Yeah.
I could have swore he's dropped
I'm with
1 or 2
Witchy.
balls.
I think a lot of fans are really gun shy and have PTSD on dropped passes because of last season's receiver core. I think between Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore, I think people just are afraid.
I mean, I feel like just every single person the Chiefs had drafted, I feel like everybody's like wanting to be very quick of putting them in a bust category.
Yeah, there's no patience with rookies these days. Like, they think that they should come in and just set the world on fire right off the bat.
Like, what sparked that? Is it because Brett Veach actually hit on the draft that Pacheco and Jalen Watson?
I don't know if it's necessarily just pigeonholed to Chiefs and Chiefs fans. I think as a whole in the league, people are like that now. Like with a lot of rookies, they just expect them to come in and be top tier players right off the bat.
Was it because the draft gets such big? Like, is it because the draft gets such a big, like a big spectacle now that everybody just feels like these rookies should just come in and light it up? Because you're told all offseason, man, when you draft that one player,
Well, I think there's that, and then I think that there is a small percentage of college players that are NFL ready and can come in and do damage. When you got guys that get drafted like Aiden Hutchinson, for example, like he come in and just literally start tearing it up.
This is why when it gets to draft season and you start seeing people put grades on players, that's why they always tell you there's only about 10 to 15 players they'll put a round 1 draft grade
right,
on.
And then out of that 10 to 15, there's probably only
7 of them probably don't do
one
well.
or 2 that are going to come in and be effective right off the bat.
Right, and then there's going to be some guys that miss throughout.
Right.
You're going to have maybe 5, 10, 15 guys out of all 300 and some people that are actually going to come in and play well, but it's like, well, it's tough. So
and then like even with the quarterbacks, I've seen something lately where it's like the NFL has a problem developing quarterbacks because look at all these quarterbacks that were drafted early and they haven't done anything. And it's like, where do you get that from? I do think they're giving up on the kids too early. Sometimes I think maybe they shouldn't just put them out there to start.
yeah, I think they're throwing them into the fire too quick.
Right, and not everybody can do that. Like last year, I mean, we saw the exception to the rule, and that was C.J. Stroud had a really good rookie season. And this year you're seeing Jaden Daniels do the same thing. But what's the longevity in that? I mean,
Right.
We'll
Flip
see.
says early draft picks are expected to be stars and ready to plug and play. They typically have higher expectations. They do. But again,
Yeah, only a
We
small
pick at
percentage
the end of the draft, and they will usually, out of every single draft class, you will have maybe 15 guys, if you're lucky, that they will put true round one grades on.
Yeah.
So that means after pick, say, some it's like 10. I think last year we had a true round grade on people. I want to say there was only like 12 to 13 players we give a true round one grade to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we were mocking Xavier Worthy in round 2. That's why we were mocking Kingsley even at the end of round 1. We felt he was a round 2 pick.
There's a
but
lot.
You can't. There's only 15 round 1 guys, right?
There's a lot that has to go right for these kids too, because situations are different, and
I think a lot
certain
too,
players
yeah.
in certain places and stuff like that. Sometimes, like Puka Nacua, let's take for him for example. What did he end up being? 3rd, 4th, 5th round pick? I don't even remember.
He was like a 5th, man.
Right, and he came in and he lit the world on fire because he got in a really good spot. He got over there with Sean McVay, and he just happened to work in that offense completely. And they also had Cooper Kupp taking some heat off of him, and it was just an ideal situation for him. So I mean, that's just kind of how.
But and
how it
we've
has
said
to
this
go.
too. Puka Nacua, put him in our offense, he probably don't do much.
It just depends, man. It really
Right.
depends.
I think it's all situational. It really is situational.
It is. Once again, just want to say I appreciate you guys for being here today. Thanks so much for that. Hit the like button for us. Just takes a second. It helps us out tremendously. If you're new to the channel, if you haven't seen this before, we do Chiefs content year round, so definitely hit that subscribe button. Hang out with us more often. Some other ways to support the channel, you can actually hit the join button, become a member of the ACU crew, starting at $4.99 a month. You'll get some little perks here and there. We'll have members-only live streams. We give some stuff away, get some cool little emojis in the chat, stuff like that. So please do that. And also, you can go to our store, merch.allchiefedup.com, and you can get some merchandise over there. And that's a good way to support the channel as well. And you get to look cool doing it because there's some pretty good threads over there. And if I must say, you need to get over there and get the Merry Chiefsmas sweater and hoodie for the holidays coming up. You can get 20% off the entire store right now up until the end of the year with the code ACU Santa. So go do that. Get 20% off, baby. Get you one of those nice Merry Chiefsmas sweaters for the holiday season. Make your family jealous. So
Yeah, for sure.
Y'all make sure to get your questions and stuff in the chat. Anything you have to say or any questions you have, get them in the chat. We'll try to get to you. We're going to be here for a little while longer today. And, of course, I put a poll up at the beginning of the episode, too. Just trying to get a feel for if you guys like this time slot or not. We're talking about doing this a few times a week on top of what we already do. So if you like this time slot and that's something that you're interested in, maybe watching not daily, but like every other day, something like that, just let us know. Let's know what you think in the chat and also vote on the poll.
Yeah. Before we go any further, let's take a shout out to BetUS, by the way. Head over to betus.com, check out what they got going on. If you use the code YouTube150, you get a 150% deposit match bonus on your first deposit. And then, of course, on your second and your third one, they'll go 125% deposit match bonus. Those are up to $2,000, so that's a lot. You can get a lot of free plays out of that. The site's easy to use. There's plenty of props on there, Steve. We've been picking right almost every week. It's been a fun time over there. It's great. So if you like to do that, I think, online betting's become a thing now in Missouri. So sign up, betus.com, promo code YouTube150. Let them know All Chiefed Up sent you. So shout out to BetUS for powering this one. Also, shout out to Manta Sleep. Again, it helps the channel grow. We appreciate all you guys. Steve, let's take a few more questions, and then we'll jump off here for the day. I'm excited to see the Andy press conference today. I want to see, and yesterday I was so excited, over the Leo block kick. I didn't even get to see the post-game presser, so I didn't get to see what Andy said. I didn't really get to see what
Everybody
Leo
was
said.
so horned up after that block
I didn't really get to see what Pat said. I'm sure we heard the same stuff from Pat and Andy.
I got to do better.
You got to do better. You got to execute. We get it. Like, we all understand that. But how many times can you hear we have to do better?
Well, I mean, I've heard it every game
Right.
since Andy Reid took over as coach.
But it's not.
But you know what? I'll take that if we're winning.
Don't you
Super
have to
Bowls.
get better, though? Pat's struggling this year. It's a little bit of a struggle. Yesterday, there was just some throws that just was wild to me. I thought that I do know that when he tried to do that deep shot to Xavier Worthy, like he didn't have his feet set. He kind of come up. He was looking the other way. But he just missed. Like, why'd
You
that ball
gotta hit
sail
that
so
one.
far out of bounds? Like, all you had to do was kind of throw it in the end zone.
I think the one to Kelsey was worse. That was pitch and catch touchdown.
And he just launched it.
I don't know what he was doing.
The Justin Ross fade in the end zone didn't even give him a chance.
He just rocketed that thing into the stands.
Yeah, I showed the clip. He just threw it out of the top.
Threw it out of the stadium.
People took so much offense to that. Can we have some fun?
Have a little fun.
We don't got to
baby.
be so serious all the time, do we? Dang.
Man, overall though,
I'm not giving up on Xavier Worthy. I see it in the
No.
chat. I'm not doing that. That's stupid.
I mean, overall, I think the Chiefs are in a great spot, and everybody should be happy anyway. Brandon Chester says, "How worried would you be if we beat the Bills but turn around and lose against the Panthers?" That sounds very.
I'm not
Kansas City
worried.
Chiefs-ish,
Like, I'm not
right?
worried about any loss at this point.
No,
Like-
you're in such a good spot.
You're worried about a loss if something happens and we just implode, and now you're fighting for a playoff spot, maybe.
Yeah.
But at this point at 9-0, I'm not worried about it. I chalk everything up. Even yesterday, bad play, but I still think that there's reasons. There's reasons in this world why things happen, right? And so I would say there's probably a little bit of everything. I think like it was like an early game. I still think the Chiefs are having to adjust what they really want to do week in and week out based on who's healthy and who's not. Like, doesn't it just feel like it's constant shifting? Yeah. Like, Andy's had to go to a 12 and 13 personnel. Then you get all your tight ends hurt. Now we're doing this. And then you draft D-Hop. You trade for D-Hop. And we didn't draft him. You have to trade
We'll
for D-Hop.
take that 32-year-old guy.
We'll take a 32-year-old man. Dude, I don't know.
No, but now I know exactly what you're saying. I think that the Chiefs are going to find their footing. And when they do, this team could be pretty nasty. I think from top to bottom, talent-wise, it's the best team Mahomes has had since he got into the league. I mean, it just is.
I think as bad as the Chiefs have looked at times, we've also had drives where we've looked very good. There were certain drives, I want to say maybe going back to even like the Falcons and some of the drives versus the Saints, and you've seen it in a drive or two versus the Bucks recently. I guess just the NFC South opponents.
Do you think
we've looked good?
Yeah, I agree. Do you think that Mahomes, if they were to be able to address the left tackle issue and all of a sudden the pressure became half of what it's been, do you think Mahomes would settle in faster? Do you think that's really what's keeping him?
Well, I mean, honestly, there's not many quarterbacks that's getting pressured like that and doing what they do. I would love to see the exact amount of pressures the Chiefs have give up. Like, I would love to know that stat.
I don't know.
I
mean, I think there could definitely be something to that. I mean, that's a viable argument. Because, I mean, there's been a lot of pressure on Mahomes, and maybe that's what's causing him to be a little bit off. But I think that's just something that the team has to address one way or another. I mean, there's different things they could try. Are they to the point where they're hitting, like, you're almost hitting the panic button on that left tackle?
Right. Mahomes has faced 62 pressures this year. So, I mean, if you really look at this, 62 pressures. Mahomes is also attributed to 25 of those. So what they're saying is that Mahomes has somewhat
caused almost
25 out of those 62 pressures. Yeah. So let's just say he hasn't, though. 62 pressures. We are 10 weeks into the season. We've played 9 games. How many times has Mahomes dropped back in the pocket? 40 a week, right?
Yeah.
You're looking at almost 400 dropbacks at this point, and he's been pressured on 60. So you're looking at maybe 10 to 12% of pressures. And that is a lot. That's a big number. But I would be curious to see what other, like, who's the best quarterback in the league right now if it's not Mahomes? Who are they going to say?
Man, name one.
Who would they say? Let's say Josh Allen then. Josh Allen's been pressured 59 times, guys. I'm just saying, 62, 59. Josh Allen's been pressured 59. So is it that much different? How many times has Joe Burrow been pressured? Let's see what that one is. Joe Burrow's been pressured 93. That's 30 more pressures than Mahomes.
What about Lamar?
Lamar Jackson. Let's go look at Lamar. What's Lamar been pressured here? 68. That is also more than Mahomes. That's what I'm saying. Like, we buy into this, our offensive line's a problem. They're a disaster. They give up too many pressures.
Could they be better?
Mahomes has
Yes,
less
but,
pressures than every other top-tier QB in football right now. It should not be that big of a problem, man. At some point, it falls back a little bit on the injuries and just flat out playing the job and execution.
Yeah, I think so too, man. But once again, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. We cannot be in a better position than we are right now. 9-0, not playing our best football, just could be so much better. The ceiling's super high. I don't even know if I can see it, to be honest, because this team's super talented. And just super excited to see how this team evolves, because we're hitting that back half of the season, man. We're officially halfway through the season. Like, we're hitting the back half, so it's time to turn it on. It's time to see what this team could do, and hopefully hit the stride right there at the playoff run and get this three-peat taken care of, baby.
Yeah. Look, I'm glad the game's over with Denver. But look, it is what it is. It was a struggle. We blocked one at the end. We won it. It's a win. It's 9-0, and let's move forward. Let's start looking forward to the Buffalo game.
Do you realize that we are like merely 40 days outside of the Chiefs not losing a football game in a solid calendar year?
Yeah, Christmas last year.
That's wild, bro.
Maybe yesterday's game kind of acts as that Christmas game last year, where it kind of gives them a little bit of a wake-up call. Like, hey, guys, you know, you can't just sleepwalk through these. Like, you're even going to get those mediocre teams that's going to give it to you. I think we're going to see a lot. If the Chiefs come out and they look very good next week and they look like they're motivated to play, they look as though they're just ready to go into Buffalo and treat it as a playoff type game. Mm-hmm. Because I bet Buffalo treats it as a playoff game. You can guarantee they're going to jump through several tables. So I want to see how the Chiefs respond. Did they lay down like a dead fish, or what do they do? Do they get up and fight a little bit? I'm curious. And I think that there's no indication that says they're not going to come out and fight.
Yeah. And just one thing to keep in mind about the game yesterday, too. I'm with Samuel here. Just give some credit to the Broncos defense, by the way, too. Like, I hate the Broncos. I hate giving them credit. But they had a good defensive game plan. The scheme was good. And they're a good defensive team. They're the third highest scoring defense in the league.
Said it before the game.
And
that's why I predicted the score to be literally, what was it, 23-13 is what I said.
Right, and they're the second highest blitzing team in football, and they brought the pressure like you thought they were going to. So, I mean, at some point, it's not how bad the Chiefs' offensive line was, and it's how good the Broncos' defense is. And we're going to see them again. The last game of the season. We might not be playing starters or anything, but we're going to see them again. And hopefully that game has no implications. So, not saying they'd beat us or anything, but I mean, hopefully by,
how many more wins
January 5th,
feasibly, in your opinion? We're 9-0. We've got 9 wins. How many wins do we need to get to that pretty much number one seeds locked?
13.
And we have the Arrowhead Invitational.
This year, I don't know. Like, what's the Ravens' record right now? Because I think they're the only ones that are kind of sniffing around.
Let's have a look at the record.
Just go to the AFC standings altogether, and let's see what it's looking like.
Okay, let me find it.
Because I'm pretty sure the Chiefs, let's see, 9-0. So I think the Ravens have lost at least 2 games, right?
Yeah. Okay. Chiefs 9-0. Bills are 8-2. The Bills. This game with the Bills right now are fighting it out. If we lose to the Bills, we're both going to have a 9 wins.
If we win this game, we are seriously in the driver's
if we win this
seat.
game, we're in the driver's seat. You're 2 games above the Bills. You'd be 3 games above the Steelers. 4 games above the Texans.
Where's the Ravens at?
The Ravens are 7-3, but they're 4th.
Okay.
I don't know why they're saying they're 4th, because feasibly, I mean, they're winning their division. No, they're not. The Steelers are. The Steelers are heading the division. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, look, the Steelers and the Ravens still got to play each other again,
right?
And maybe twice. Have they played yet?
We talk about the Chiefs being on the back half of the season, but there's still some pretty big games. I mean, you're playing the Bills this coming week.
No,
that's a big game.
The Ravens Steelers play this week, so one of them has to take an L this week.
Yeah. But no, the Chiefs got some big games in this back half of the season. You got the Bills coming up, which, like you said, if they can win this game, that puts them firmly in the driver's seat in AFC. And then they're also, 3 divisional games left, with the 2 most important ones being the next 2 coming up against the Raiders and the Chargers. That's on the 29th and then December 8th. But then they also play the Texans and the Steelers 4 days apart.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
And those are going to be those games could have some implications.
If I'm the Chiefs, ideally, I want to have. Look, you got to say at some point. I don't think anybody they want to do it, but I think like on a scale from how important it is to like not important to very important, I think undefeated season's not at the top of the scale.
No.
At least at right now. Now, if you start getting to like the 16th game.
Well, if you get to the playoffs, then you have to go undefeated.
Right, you have to. So I say if they get through this week and the Panthers, when they start getting to the Raiders, Chargers, Browns, Texans, Steelers, when you get to that back 6 games, I believe then it might be a focus. But to be honest, let's just say we drop 1 or 2 by the end of the year. You want those to be like late. Like, honestly, if you beat the Bills, you're in the driver's seat. The Panthers should almost just be a win. You should not have a problem with that. The Raiders should be a win. The Chargers should be a win. The Browns should be a win. You should not feasibly, if you can get through the Bills, you should not literally have to worry about a loss. If you're playing up to your standards until at least the Texans, Steelers, you might have, those 2 games so close. But by then, you should have it wrapped up.
For sure.
It should feasibly be wrapped up. If you win the next 4, you've got 13 wins already.
Right. And speaking of it being wrapped up, this bad boy's wrapped up. Put a bow on it. Appreciate you guys being here. Please hit that like button on the way out. Shout out BetUS for powering this live stream. And shout out Man to Sleep for sponsoring the episode as well. And we'll see you guys next time. Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.
There goes a sight from my soul.